Great. Well, we are live on Facebook. I'm with Dr. Lauren Ballinger. I'm Lauren Gates with Airway Health Solutions, and I am so thrilled to have you here, Dr. Ballinger, because after I saw you at AAPMD, actually while I was seeing you at AAPMD, your story and your presentation really brought me to tears. So I was even more excited to have you now on our Airway Palooza speaker lineup. And I know I said, you can do that same presentation, but kudos for you for saying, hey, let's do something different and fresh and whatnot. So I want to talk a little bit about your topic at the Airway Palooza, which is basically influencing children and their parents, because that's what you've mentioned is the feedback that you're getting that may be the missing piece. So let's talk a little bit about why you chose that topic, and then we'll dive into all things Palooza too, with all of the speakers and how it's just going to be so amazing.
That's great. Well, thank you, Lauren. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited about the Airway Palooza too. Not just to have the honor to speak, but to be a part of the audience with so many great clinicians and leaders. There's so much to learn from everybody there. So I'm just as maybe more excited to actually be a audience member as I am to speak. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I did get some feedback after the AAPMD, which I told my story about how I even ended up in the place that I am, that really was more of a calling as a mother, that I just happened to be a pediatric dentist. And it dawned on me like, hey, I have the power to really change not only my kids' lives and then the patients I see every day. But at the end of the AAPMD collab cures this year in Phoenix, we asked for a little feedback about, well, what would you like to hear from, the pediatric part? So we all keep talking about, all the amazing things that we can do to help people obviously have nice smiles, but function better, breathe better, sleep better. And then the end of the day, even in James Nestor's book, it is start early, right? So the buzzword is start early, start early. So, being a pediatric dentist, working with kids and their parents is so in my wheelhouse that I don't even really think about it anymore. Right. It's natural, it's innate. And I knew I wanted to work with kids in the beginning. And I've done some speaking before, even before I really had my airway awakening, about, I used to be I still am, but passionate about the first year dental exam and how do you help dentists, general dentists, learn to work with a crying infant, and even more importantly, with parents that are feeling very nervous about the whole thing. And one of the missing links that kind of came up in talking to people is everybody wants to treat early and they want to know two things, sort of the mechanics and the appliances, but also how to approach the child and the parent from the very beginning. So in a lot of my lectures, and I might not to give it away, but a lot of these lectures that I've done before and talking about behavior management, which is not my favorite word, is to play a track of a child or a toddler crying and kind of watch the audience sort of, have that visceral reaction and explain, that crying for children is just the way of them expressing themselves. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're being hurt or something is, problematic. They're just expressing, they're new at this. And our job, if we're going to treat early, is from the minute that the child and their parents or caregivers walk in the door, is to establish that relationship and make everybody feel comfortable. So at the end of the day, short story, we can put a big appliance in their mouth, right? Because that's what we're actually, that's the end game, right? So what are some of the steps that we can do from the minute we make contact with both the parents and the kids? Very simple things that, again, I think to most pediatric dentists, it's so natural, but it might not be so natural. It's something you have to learn if you're not used to it. And it's not hard. I want to help people sort of break that fear barrier, that kids are somebody to be afraid of or nervous about. And that if you, come in with a certain approach and attitude, it can be more fun than ever to work with kids. And then also the parents. The parents are such a part. And I find that parents have more anxieties around the whole thing than the kids do. And we really need to help them manage that. In fact, Kevin Boyd, our friend Kevin Boyd, shared an article with a few of us that was just out in bicuspid, and it was either done in France or in Canada, about parents' perception of how difficult the appointment is going to be can influence kids even who have never had a bad dental experience.
Wow.
So, it's really a two-pronged approach working with these families. It's getting the kids comfortable with you and your team, and it's also helping to calm the parents down, because if the parents aren't on board, we're never going to be able to get anything done.
And this is pretty universal, right? This isn't just for pediatric dentists. This
Yeah.
would apply for general dentists, for orthodontists, for myofunctional therapists, for hygienists, for anyone working with children and parents.
All of it, right? So
Yeah.
listen, I don't have all the answers. I learn things new every day, but I think there's some tips and techniques and little tricks, simple things that I'm hoping to share with people just to sort of open that book and make it so much easier. And I will say, as a pediatric dentist, my whole career, parents have always said, will you treat me? Because guess what? They want to be treated the same way.
Wow.
Right? So these are tools that we can use for everybody to make them feel a lot more comfortable and safe.
Well, I almost wish we could talk about it because I'm so excited, but we can't give it away.
It's a teaser.
It's like a teaser.
Right.
So we're gonna have to wait. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because it's really I'm like over the moon about this. I think that just having James Nestor there, and he's gonna personalize his keynote geared toward dentists and all the allied health professionals who are the doers right now, right? It's all about, okay, it's raising awareness, but how exciting is it to be a dental professional now where we can actually do things about it? So I just want to showcase just these speakers here. I'm so excited about the different tidbits. Here we go. That we're going to get from each one, and it's long enough where you can take a key pearl or two from each speaker. So I am just so excited to have everyone under one roof and really collaborate and just have that fellowship. It is a palooza, so we are making this extremely fun. There'll be social events included at the end with open bar and food and drink, and those who know me know I love to have a good party. So we're going to have lots of good food and lots of good drink and great music just to celebrate on the river in Savannah. But let's look at this lineup, Dr. Ballinger. I mean, when you think about this,
let's look at it. It's amazing.
First of all, everyone that I asked said yes. And I'm so grateful because I literally had so many people that I could ask that we are going to make this an annual event, because there's so much interest and there's so much to share with so many experts. So I'm really grateful to all the speakers coming together, taking the time to gather under one roof. And Dr. Carstensen was on with me earlier in the week, and he was suggesting how all the speakers are going to be mingling with everybody. They want to share their knowledge, and I can't really wait for that camaraderie so people can feel like, hey, I can do this too. And Dr. Ballinger, you started out once coming to Dr. Moralia's course at Yankee, right? Was it Yankee Dental or Hinman?
It was Yankee, yeah. And that was my story, and I think that that's what makes this so important, because my quick story, a lot of people know it, but as a pediatric dentist, I had been doing early phase 1 treatment in the practice I was working in for quite a few years. But then Dr. Moralia put it together. Like, it was literally like I describe it as lightning bolt hitting me about finally putting it all together. And then we all get stuck in this part, like, oh my gosh, this is what we want to do. How in the world are we going to get there? Right? I mean, it's like a long game, because we have to learn a lot. We have to practice a lot. We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to see our successes and our failures, and that takes time. But I will say what makes the Palooza so great is that, so we can sit and listen to speakers for half an hour, a full day. But I find that I've learned the most from my friends or mentors, colleagues in the off time, when we're talking, when everything is so formal and you can just talk, like you said, mingle. And that was the first thing that came to my mind when you sort of showed me how this was going to be set up. I was like, this is amazing, because I'm the geek in the class that always wants to stay to the last minute and try to hear everything. but people have to go places. They have to go there. We don't have to go anywhere. This is like,
Right.
like,
In fact, I'm locking the doors.
yes, right.
It's
And
a
we're stuck together, not for worse, but for better, where we can really just talk to each other and pick each other's brains. And like I said, I am as excited to be there as a participant as I am to add my part, because I know a lot of the people are coming. I don't know some of them. I know of them. I'm so excited to hear new things, and I'm so excited to see my friends and mentors, because again, we always learn something. And one of the reasons why I changed my talk is because I think, everybody in this movement is sort of moving from airway curious to like, how do we actually get this done? So I wanted to add another little piece of the puzzle of people leaving. I'm hoping they'll actually leave with some ideas that they can start for their whole practice. Again, it'd be like you said, it doesn't have to be pedo. These principles apply to everybody that they can use on Monday without feeling like, they have to take a mini residency to do.
Right. Well, I can hardly wait. It's going to be December 9th and 10th in Savannah, Georgia at the Westin. It's on the golf course. There's a spa. I actually went there for my 50th birthday and said, I'm going to have a convention here one day. And
then it's going to be extra special.
3 years later.
Good for you. You manifested it.
I did. I really did. So I know it's going to be grand. I already have the vision in my head. But for those who haven't signed up yet, please take advantage of Dr. Ballinger's VIP link, which will be in the chat. You can see it in Facebook. And if you're just listening to it, it's www.airwayhealthsolutions.com / like this way to the right, AP as in Airway Palooza, and then Ballinger, Ballinger. But it'll be in the chat, and we're just going to have to wait and be patient. Patience is not one of my virtues, but I'm trying really hard. And I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today, Dr. Ballinger, and I will see you in Savannah.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I can't wait. I hope to see tons of people there. It's going to be really fun.
Thanks so much. See you then.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.